History is full of surprising twists. What seems like the end for one chapter often marks the beginning of another. In the world of military technology, this is especially true. Machines once celebrated can quickly become relics, only to find new life in unexpected places. What one nation deems obsolete, another can transform into a lifeline. The fate of military hardware is never truly sealed. It can be reborn with a new mission, in a new conflict, under a new flag. This is the story of Italy's M113 armored personnel carriers, vehicles once destined for the scrap heap, gathering dust in forgotten corners of military depots. Considered too old and vulnerable for modern warfare, they were set to be replaced by newer, more advanced machines. Their armor and technology seemed outdated in an era of drones and precision weapons. But the war in Ukraine changed everything. The brutal reality of modern conflict created an urgent need for any armored vehicle that could offer protection and mobility. Suddenly, Ukraine needed reliable, adaptable vehicles, fast. The front lines demanded transport that could survive harsh conditions and keep soldiers moving. What Italy saw as outdated, Ukraine saw as an opportunity to reinforce its battered forces. The M113S, once overlooked, became highly sought after. The M113S, gathering dust in Italian depots, were thrust onto the front lines of Europe's fiercest conflict in decades. Their journey from storage yards to active battlefields was swift and dramatic. This is a paradox of modern warfare. One nation's trash becomes another's treasure. In desperate times, even the most unassuming machines can tip the balance. The M113S weren't expected to be game changers, but they became something just as vital, a lifeline for troops under fire, a shield against chaos. In Ukraine's muddy fields and shattered towns, these vehicles found new purpose as command posts, ambulances, and anti-drone platforms. Their versatility made them invaluable on a constantly shifting battlefield. They became a symbol of resilience, proving that old technology, used cleverly, can still make a difference. Their presence boosted morale and saved lives. This is how Italy's obsolete M113S became Ukraine's secret battlefield weapon, an unlikely hero in a new era of war. To truly understand the M113's remarkable journey, we must travel back to the tense days of the Cold War, a time when the world was gripped by the threat of global conflict and rapid technological change. The US Army urgently needed a new kind of vehicle, one that could carry troops safely across battlefields threatened not just by bullets and bombs, but by the terrifying specter of nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons. The answer, developed in the late 1950s after years of research and testing, was the M113, a vehicle that would soon change the face of mechanized warfare. Its revolutionary aluminum armor made it far lighter than its steel predecessors, allowing it to float across rivers and be airlifted directly into battle zones, capabilities that were groundbreaking at the time. The boxy, utilitarian design maximized interior space, enabling it to carry a full squad of soldiers plus crew, along with their essential gear and supplies. In the jungles of Vietnam, the M113 earned the nickname Green Dragon, ferrying troops through dense forests and flooded rice paddies where traditional trucks simply couldn't go. Soldiers quickly adapted the M113 to their needs, adding extra guns, sandbags, and improvised armor, transforming it into a mobile fighting platform, command post, and even a battlefield ambulance for wounded comrades. Its legendary reliability and unmatched versatility cemented its reputation, leading to widespread adoption by armies around the globe, from NATO allies to distant nations. Over 80,000 units were produced in dozens of specialized variants, serving in conflicts from the Middle East to the Iraq War, adapting to every environment and mission. Nations from Australia to Turkey and Italy to Brazil made the M113 the backbone of their mechanized forces, relying on it for both peacekeeping and combat operations. Its simple, rugged design made upgrades and repairs easy, and while its armor couldn't match the latest threats, its mobility and reliability kept it in frontline service for decades longer than anyone expected. The M113 became one of the most widely used and recognized armored vehicles in military history, a true icon of 20th century warfare. Its legacy endures, a dependable workhorse that armies could trust, no matter the mission or the terrain. The M113's enduring popularity comes from its remarkable simplicity and widespread availability. For decades, it has been a familiar sight in military forces around the world, trusted for its reliability and ease of use. With so many units built over the years, spare parts are not only easy to find but also cheap and plentiful, making maintenance straightforward and cost-effective. Mechanics everywhere know how to fix them, and training new crews is simple compared to more modern, complex vehicles. For armies with tight budgets, the M113 offered affordable protection and mobility, a huge step up from unarmored trucks, giving soldiers a much better chance of survival on the battlefield. Its wide tracks and lightweight let it cross mud, snow and sand, where heavier vehicles get stuck, making it extremely versatile in difficult terrain. This mobility is crucial in Ukraine's muddy battlefields where getting bogged down can mean disaster for troops and equipment. The M113's amphibious ability adds to its go-anywhere reputation, allowing it to cross rivers and flooded areas that would stop other vehicles cold. But its biggest weakness is its thin aluminum armor, designed to stop small arms fire and shrapnel, not the powerful anti-tank weapons and heavy machine guns found on modern battlefields. On today's battlefield, a standard M113 is dangerously vulnerable to drones, artillery, and anti-tank missiles, making it risky to use in direct combat. Its armament is light, usually just a single heavy machine gun, limiting its offensive power and making it less effective against well-armed enemies or fortified positions. That's why wealthier nations have replaced it with heavier, better protected vehicles that can survive and fight in high-intensity conflicts. The M113 is best used as a support vehicle, transporting supplies, evacuating wounded, or providing backup, not as a frontline brawler facing the enemy head-on. Its strengths and weaknesses set the stage for its transformation in Ukraine, where necessity drives innovation and adaptation. Adaptation would be key to its survival, as Ukrainian troops work to upgrade and reinforce these old warriors for the challenges of modern warfare. When Italian M113s arrived in Ukraine, they weren't used as is. Ukrainian forces knew their vulnerabilities and set out to adapt them for survival. The spacious interior made them perfect for battlefield ambulances, fitted with extra armor to protect medics and wounded. Their mobility let them reach casualties in tough terrain, saving lives under fire. Some M113s were up-armed with anti-aircraft cannons or anti-tank missiles, turning them into mobile fire support or air defense platforms. Others got electronic warfare gear to jam Russian drones. The most common upgrades slat armor cages to help defeat RPGs and shape charges. These modifications turned old transports into a diverse fleet of specialized vehicles. Each M113 was tailored for a role where its strengths shone and its weaknesses were minimized. Ingenuity turned Italy's old steel into Ukraine's new weapons. Italy's decision to send up to 400 M113s to Ukraine was a game-changer. That's enough to equip several mechanized brigades, an enormous boost for an army losing equipment daily. Some in Italy called it a token gesture, others worried about depleting reserves. But for Ukraine, these vehicles were a lifeline. The M113s were easy to absorb, simple mechanics, quick training, and a ready supply chain thanks to NATO partners. Unlike complex modern tanks, they could be deployed and maintained fast. Italy's donation was more than hardware. It was a powerful political signal of support. It showed a pragmatic understanding. Ukraine needed mass, not just a few high-tech weapons. The M113s filled a critical gap in Ukraine's armored formations. They arrived when they were needed most, helping Ukraine hold the line. Sometimes, quantity really does have a quality all its own. On Ukraine's battlefields, Italian M113s are everywhere. Their main job moving troops safely to and from the front, shielding them from shrapnel and bullets. They haul supplies, ammo, food, water, across muddy, cratered terrain where trucks can't go. Some are converted into mobile workshops, fixing broken gear near the front. As ambulances, they race to retrieve the wounded, their armor making the difference between life and death. M113s also serve as mobile command posts, keeping officers connected and on the move. Their constant motion makes them harder targets for enemy artillery and drones. These unsung workhorses keep Ukraine's frontline fighting. Next to modern IFVs like the Bradley or Puma, the M113 looks outdated. Modern vehicles have better armor, weapons, and sensors. Even Soviet-era BMPs outgun it, though they're cramped and unreliable. But the M113 isn't meant to be a tank killer. It excels as a support vehicle. moving troops, supplies, and the wounded while heavier vehicles fight. Its simplicity and spaciousness make it ideal for transport and medical roles. In Ukraine's mixed fleet, the M113 fills a vital niche as a low-cost, high-utility platform. It does the essential, unglamorous jobs that keep the army running. Sometimes the draft horse is just as important as the racehorse. The M113 in Ukraine is a lesson in good enough. Wars aren't won by perfect equipment but by what's available, reliable, and sustainable. Old tech like the M113 is proven, easy to fix, and quick to deploy. Spare parts are cheap and everyone knows how to keep them running. In a long war, that matters more than cutting-edge features. Knowing their limits, Ukrainian troops use M113s creatively, avoiding direct assaults, maximizing mobility and support roles. History shows simple, mass-produced tech often outlasts and outperforms more complex rivals. The M113's success is about adaptability, not raw power. In war, practicality often beats perfection. Italy's M113s are the latest proof. Italy's M113s, once forgotten, became vital through adaptation. Ukraine's ingenuity turned them from relics into assets. Ambulances, command posts, anti-drone platforms. Italy's donation showed the value of giving what's needed, not just what's new. The M113's real strength is as part of a network, moving people, supplies, and information, making the whole system more resilient. Their story is one of hope and resourcefulness. Even old warriors can have a decisive impact on new battlefields. These steel boxes, once dismissed, now symbolize Ukraine's fighting spirit. Victory isn't always about the most advanced tech, it's about adaptability and willpower. The M113 proves that with creativity, even yesterday's tools can win today's wars.